Hi, I'm Jen. Welcome to my new YouTube channel, Diaries of a Long Goodbye. I've never done this before, but I'm really excited. But before we get going with it, I thought that I would introduce myself and give just a little bit of my background and why I'm doing this. Back in January of 2013, my husband suffered a terrible seizure in the middle of the night because of a brain tumor. And that launched us into an 8-year journey with cancer. 3 brain surgeries, 2 spine surgeries, a lung surgery, countless radiation treatments and oncologist appointments and MRI scans and CT scans. We traveled back and forth between Colorado Springs and Denver, Colorado, to where his doctors were at the Anschutz Medical Campus there. His cancer was so unique that it required the expertise and knowledge of his surgical team and neuro team up at Anschutz, like I said, medical campus in Aurora. So I recently found these blog posts that I kept during those 8 years, and I'm glad that I did. It's very interesting to go back and reread them. I'm a very different woman now than I was then. When my husband Chris was first diagnosed, our children were 4 years old and 8 years old. So the posts talk a lot about the ins and outs of day-to-day life of all of us, but from my perspective of being his caregiver and his wife and the mother to our children, and the efforts in trying to maintain some semblance of normalcy with elementary school aged children and getting into middle school and then high school for our oldest. When he passed away, it was March 23rd of 2020. It was 2 days before the COVID lockdown. It was at the end of our oldest child's freshman year of high school, and then our youngest was finishing up 5th grade. So my goal in creating this YouTube series is absolutely to get the words out there that I wrote. My husband and I always imagined that I would create a book out of them. That, however, doesn't seem very feasible for my life right now, but this does. I like doing this, so I'm hoping to honor him by sharing our story, but also creating a safe space where my viewers can come together, and even though it's online, but leave comments and get discussions going and ask questions. I just feel like it's so important to normalize talks about grief and about cancer, and being able to reach people who are in it, who are in the throes of it even. It doesn't have to be just for people who have been or are touched by cancer. I want this to be friendly to absolutely everyone. Looking back in some of these posts, there's a lot of humor, there's a lot of observations of waiting rooms during 12 and 15-hour long surgeries, and just perspectives from me. Also talking about faith and hope and fear. So it's a really interesting perspective for me looking back on what I wrote then. And, I was able to really observe when my edges came out and when they were pretty sharp. But I have to validate that version of me, and I have to love her, and I have to respect all that she did to keep it together. And after he died, we were dealing with that immense loss as well as COVID. I have since become sober, which has been a huge turning point and blessing in my life and my now ability to process grief that I was only hiding before. So I'm really, like I said, excited to be here and just wanted to share a little bit about me. I live in Colorado Springs and I have this wonderful girl, Mabel, here that maybe she's a little screen shy. But I'm open to discussions and questions. I'm an open book. So let's dive in, shall we? And super accessible and easy to talk to, and I can't wait to see where we go together on this journey. So yes, like I said, I've never done this before. I'm brand new. I don't even know yet how to upload to YouTube, but that's what my 17-year-old, almost 18-year-old is going to help me with. So grateful for that. All right, friends, let's get to it, shall we? Thanks again for being here. Big love.